an Aramaic word from the Old Testament meaning arise. And Kamal, welcome to today's issues on American Family Radio.
Well, it's good to be with you. It's an honor, and God bless you.
Tell us about Qum Ministries. Most of us probably don't know much about that. Where did it come from, and how did you settle on that name, and what are you doing?
Well, and originally, what I came from, I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and to a Muslim Sunni family, and I was trained with the Muslim Brotherhood, recruited by them at young age, and also I became a member of the PLO under the Muslim Brotherhood umbrella, and I went on missions with them, at one time in the Mideastern region, and then when the Muslim Brotherhood under the Saudi leadership sent me to the United States of America, for the penetration of the culture and do what's so-called culture jihad or stealth jihad. What happened is one day I had a severe car wreck, and in the car wreck I met three Christian families, and in turn there were a big organization which is all Christian businessmen, and they cared for me, loved me, and for the first time I encountered the love of God and the truth of Christianity, and what it is, all about, from where I was taught the opposite. And when I was questioning my God and my, what everything was given to me from my childhood, I came to have an encounter with Jesus Christ. And there, when he called me to arise, he said, "Qum Kamal," which is arise, Kamal. And so therefore, this is where it's all started, and so I start fighting for the truth and for a true living God, who is fighting for our nation and for the truth about the love of Christ.
Now, Kamal, one of the things that you mentioned in part of what you do, or one of the original reasons you came to the country, is you use the term stealth jihad. Would you break that down for us a little bit? Because, after all, Islam is a religion of peace, isn't it?
That's what they usually say,
right.
But we've seen it over the years, and, since the infancy of Islam, history shows there's over 250 million people been destroyed by the sword of Islam, killed literally. But jihad to the American people, many people don't understand what the word jihad. Something it's a war. Mm-hmm. Something it's to war with self. All these are true, but to the jihadists themselves and to the people who are from that region over there, jihad break into several levels, but the highest level, which is the most acceptable, and now it's destroying the Western civilization, is the stealth jihad, which is to bring about, Islamists into a nation and to penetrate the civilization and to bring about what's so-called, we want to live in unity, we want to be part of your culture, but we want to have our rights. And through our rights, we start enforcing what's so-called Sharia law. Mm-hmm. And what is Sharia law is the Islamic constitution. It constitutes to them everything. It's the Islamic governing. So therefore, what happened by penetrating a civilization and culture, we can destroy their, it can destroy their constitution, as a sovereign nation. It can destroy their laws and bylaws and enforce, Islamic laws within a civilization, and therefore start steering the country in different direction and come against the enemy of Islam through using that civilization.
Kamal, what would you say is if there is such a thing as the, quote, average Muslim, if we're thinking about Muslims in the Middle East, what is their view of Christianity?
Well, let me speak from my perspective when I was a Muslim. When I was a Muslim, of course, my mother was a Turk, Ottoman Turk. Her father came from Turkey by the fall of the Ottoman Empire. And what happened is we were taught a little bit about radical Islam from our childhood. And my mother teaching said to me, my son, if you kill a Jew, your hand will light up before the throne of Allah, which is, Allah will be blessed, the God of Islam will be blessed by the work if you kill them. And also we were commanded to destroy the Jewish civilization and the Christian civilization, by study according to Islamic Sharia law from Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam. So when you look at Muslim, today, many Muslim, you have several levels of Islam. You have about 28 to 35%, they hold the agenda, which is radical Islam, which is, anyone is not Muslim must be killed according to Islamic laws. But then you have the moderate Muslim as well, and these moderate Muslim, they prefer Islam, but nevertheless, they don't want to do anything with war, but yet they finance war according to Sharia law. And then you have the third part, which is liberal Muslim, which is, we saw those in Egypt, the one they wanted Tahrir Square in Egypt, and they asked, for the regime of the Egyptian regime to change. And at that time, it helped change the culture. But when the Muslim Brotherhood took over and they tried to change that, they were killed and they were beaten and they were jailed. So these are the liberal Muslims that they don't want Islamic civilization, but they want liberation from Islam in itself.
Kamal, in the United States and the various mosques and things that are going up around the country, what percentage of those would you say there is training going on for the radical part of Islam, or are they mostly moderate?
Unfortunately, it's not the majority of them moderate. Although they cry, that they are moderate, but we have to really question this and we have to measure this. And the best measuring stick is when we see something like happening, when we see Hamas today is hitting over 600 rockets into Israel, killing innocent people. These Muslims are supportive of Hamas. They are not supportive of Israel and calling for the destruction of Israel. So we know that these are in support, for Hamas against Israel. They're truly radical, trying to be moderate on purpose. But statistics shows over 82% of Islamic mosques in the United States of America teach jihad and teach radical Islamization and teach the destruction of the United States of America. That statistic came by the Pew last year. And when we look at all this, what happened is we find that many of these mosques today, that they are funded by Saudi petrodollars. The Saudi Arabian government is today funding those mosques and funding, the imams to come about and radicalizing our culture. But it's not going into that direction only because the mosque nowadays in self, they are trying to control the arena that they are in and bring about, education into our school system, Islamic education, into our university, and forcing their culture to be part of the American culture. And so therefore the mosque is playing as a lobbyist and raising lobbyists for the cause of radical Islam in the United States of America.
You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Our guest is Kamal Saleem, pardon me, sir. And his ministry is koomministries.com. That's KOOME ministries.com. Now, let's get back to the main purpose, and I am so grateful that you are answering our questions on Islam because I think it's important that folks know what's really going on. But now your ministry is targeted to local churches, isn't it?
Well, we do local churches, but we do also synagogues. Mm-hmm. We also do universities, college. We do, city centers, which is we go and meet with the people for question and answer. And we go everywhere. Even if the Muslim ask us to go and speak to them about the issue, we'll be glad to. But of course, they do not. So we don't. And we go to also high school sometimes. High school open that debate. We go there to speak in those places.
We're talking with Kamal Saleem of Coom Ministries. You're listening to Today's Issues here on American Family Radio.